Hello everyone and welcome back to Java 1 for All. In this video we are going to see how we can execute the compiling process manually. So probably you are never going to do that again, but just to understand, because this is your first contact with Java. So remember from previous classes that we have this structure. We first have to write a file that has the extension .java, and inside this file we are going to write our own source code. From that source code, we have to generate the byte code. That's the same name of the file, but instead of having the extension .java, it is the extension .class. And this process is possible through the Java-C, the Java compiler that we have inside the JDK. So from the bytecode, we will be able to execute in the Java virtual machine and see the results of what we are trying to achieve. So before we start, let's start, well, you know what? Let's use the best text editor in the whole planet, Notepad. We are going to use something way more advanced for our training, but let's just start with Notepad because it's just quicker. So when we write Java code, we have, as I said before, convention. And here we are going to follow at least one of them. And there are some rules that right now it will be quite difficult for you to understand, but just follow along what I'm doing here. So first we have to type these two words, public class. And then we have to give a name to this class. Now, the name is pretty important. It's the first convention and it's pretty straightforward. The name of the class should have always the first letter uppercase, and all the letters or the words that you have, if you have more than one word, you have to put the first word, the first letter of these words, also uppercase. What does that mean? If I type hello DevDojo, so we have hello, one word, dev, another word, dojo, another word. So we have three words, and as you can see, the first letter of each word, it is uppercase. Now, technically, you can write lowercase, but honestly, if you type lowercase, don't tell me that you got this, don't tell anyone that you got this course from me. So, being serious, it's really important that you follow this convention. Honestly, if you say that you are a Java developer and you send me a resume and some repository with your classes and you have lowercase class names, man, I have bad news for you. So just please follow the convention. Now, as you can see, I have the curly braces, open one and close another one. If you have a space here in between, actually it doesn't matter, but here you need a space after each word, but here it's not important right now. Neither this space that we are given here. It's just that we have some structure in our code for better readability. Now write the following: public static void main, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and type string. And as you can see here, string has the uppercase S. It's pretty important. It will not work if you do not write the first letter of a string as uppercase string. And then open and close brackets and type the word args, lowercase. And again, just open the curly braces, and every time you open a curly braces in Java, you do have to close that curly brace. So what we are doing here, we have two blocks of code, one that's inside the public class, and then one that is inside this, what we are going to understand later, that is called a method. So what we have to do now, inside the method, inside this block right here, the inner block, we are going to write the following: system, and as you can see, the S is uppercase as well, dot out dot print L as like language, N as Nancy, and open and close parentheses and Now, instead of opening curly braces, we are going to stop the line with a semicolon. So it's pretty important, this piece here, if you don't put it, it will fail. Now we need to send a message. Basically, we are telling, hey, print a line out in the system, in the console. So to do that, we need to give a message, and the message needs to be in between double quotes. So double quotes, open, double quotes, closing. So these are double quotes. This is a single quote. So it's not single quote twice, but double quotes. And then that message that every developer will have to write in their life. Cap, me, ha, me, and I hope you get that reference. So now that we have these basically 3 lines of code, 4 to be more precise, we are going to save the file. And saving the file is pretty important. Let's go back to my desktop, and I will create here just a folder, and I will call this folder dev. Now, going back to the file, click on File, Save, and now we have something really important. The type, we have to change it to all files, and the name of the file needs to match exactly, and by exactly I mean letter by letter, uppercase by uppercase, the name of your public class. So in this case, hello DevDojo, and then the extension. What's the extension that we are trying to create here? .java. So hello DevDojo.java, and as you can see, H, D, and D, they are uppercase. Just save after you have this. Okay, if we check the desktop, you will see that I have my file and I have my extension. If you can't see your extension on Windows, just click on View and then File Name Extension. Just check or uncheck and you will be able to see the extension. It needs to be .java. Probably your icon is different because I have something in that I used for different courses here. So we have our source code. Now what we need to do, from our source code, we need to generate the Byte code. So inside the dev folder, just click over the, and I forgot the name, the place where you type the path, and type cmd, and you are going to open your terminal. Make sure that you have Java compiler working. You should type Java C and see this huge text. Otherwise, just watch the previous video to set up your files from the bin folder in the path. Okay, CLS to clean. And now we are going to go through the process of changing the source code and generating the Byte code. Java compiler, the name of the class. I just type the first 2 letters and I press the tab because I only have 1 file here. So compile, which just use Java compiler to compile the hello DevDojo file .java, and when I type enter and I go back to my folder, you can see that we have hello DevDojo.class. This is the class that we are looking for right here. And now this will be able to go into the Java virtual machine and we will see something. But before, remember that I said that this guy is not human readable. If we go back here and try to open, you will see some weird characters, and there are some stuff that you can understand. For example, yeah, you know that something is a Kamehameha, but you cannot understand everything else. The Java virtual machine is supposed to understand that. So there are some ways to decompile, because we compiled, and there is a process decompiling. Decompiling is just getting this byte code and changing it into something human readable again. So there are tools that do that, and they are pretty cool. They work most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't work properly, but it's a good idea for you to see. Sometimes you don't have much access, but you still can see whatever is inside of the byte code. So now what we have to do, we would like to execute, and that is one tiny rule, that is type in Java but you cannot type hello devdojo.class. If you do this, boom, you will get this error. What should you do? Just the name of the file without any extension. And by doing this, you have your result. So basically the Java virtual machine executed the source, the bytecode that was generated from the source code, and you can see the results here. So pretty cool. Now, what are some common mistakes? So the first common mistake is, for example, when you change something. Let's say that I just want 1A here. I changed my source code and then I saved. But then if I go back here to my Java hello DevDojo, I still see the last 2A's. And why is that? Remember, we have a process that every time that you change something, you need a bytecode version of that. So if we go back here, you will see that inside the bytecode, we still have the old value. Why is that? Because we need to compile again. So the process is compile again, Java compiler, Java C, hello devdojo.java. And now if we open, we can execute or just open, you will see that we have the updated value. Let's execute again. Java hello devdojo without extension, and we have the updated value. Another common mistake, having the file or the class name different from each other. For example, I would change here the H and I will put lowercase and I will save it. Now, when I try to compile hello devdojo.java, boom, I have an error. And as a developer, it's pretty important for you to start reading the errors before trying to ask questions or before trying to ask your friends. Try to figure out first. The best developers, they are problem solvers, and this is something that you get used to. The more you ask, the less you are getting used to solve a problem by yourself. So it's saying here that the class DevDojo is public, and the name of the file should be exactly the name of the class. So I have two options: either change the name of the class to uppercase H, or the name of the file to lowercase h. But because of convention, hello DevDojo. And if you compile, everything is compiling. Another common mistake is forgetting the famous semicolon. So I removed and I saved, and I will try to compile again. And now I have here another error, pretty straightforward. It's saying that they are expecting semicolon and even telling you where. So that thing that you usually see in the internet saying, hey, I lost 10 hours just because of semicolon. Yeah, that's a lie in Java. So these are the points that you should remember. Don't worry about all the information you have here. I believe it will take around 45, 50 videos to explain every single detail that we have happening inside of this piece of code. But we are going to get there as long as you stay together and keep paying attention. So this is everything that I had to tell you. See you in the next video. Bye.